Hello, everybody.
Welcome back to another episode of Mondays Are For The Nerds, your nerdy news podcast. I'm your co-host, Jay Wright.
And I'm your other co-host, Tristan Stump.
And this is where we recap this past week's nerdy news. How have you been?
Been all right. How about you?
Pretty good. Tired.
I said you've been tired because you've been teaching
Practice
by
all
day
night,
and
teaching
practicing
by
by night.
My goodness. We are coming to you earlier than we ever have.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
a Friday morning.
Yeah, this is Friday morning.
So-
because we talked about it before. February, for some odd reason, just ended up being so stinking busy
So
that
busy.
we'll let you know now. There will not be an episode next week.
No.
Which sucks because a certain movie that we aren't going to get to talk about this week can
But we
also
are
not be talked
seeing
about next week.
tomorrow.
Yeah, we're seeing it tomorrow. So
We'll get to that.
You'll
be waiting for our 2-week
all
reaction
the
on
big
that.
stuff earlier this year. It's just we're like doomed not to talk about it. Switch
Yeah.
reveal, we have to be late on that. Captain America, we have to be late on that.
Yeah.
It's just kind of.
Paddington. Just kidding.
Oh yeah, Paddington. Oh man, we're gonna be-
Paddington. Above everything.
yeah. Pour out a marmalade sandwich for.
Exactly. No, I haven't been doing much this way. I guess I'll start off small talk. The little I have. No, I've just been practicing. Of course, our local production of Cinderella, I was in it. We opened last night. And that's about it. That's literally all I've been doing. I haven't watched any movies. I'm on season 2 of Frasier. I will say that.
Yes.
Loving it.
Yeah, I haven't played much more Metaphor because this week I just didn't have time for it.
Yeah.
Too
Between
much
work and
too
all.
much to do this week. So instead, I started playing through Banjo-Kazooie.
Nice. Nice.
I got through the first and second world, then I got to the third world, remembered it is all mostly underwater, and I don't know if you've ever played Banjo-Kazooie.
No,
but
I want to, though.
The swimming.
I feel like I would love Banjo-Kazooie.
Oh, you would. Absolutely. Absolutely, you would love it, except for maybe the swimming part, because it is a game from 98, I think, is when it came out. So the swimming's kind of sucks, especially when it gives you an air meter.
No, I hate
and a
air
world
meters.
that has missions mostly underwater and no spots
very little-
and no spots to get oxygen. You have to swim back up to get oxygen. Except for
No, that'd make me mad.
except for one part where you have to go to the very bottom and there's a fish going around like spitting out air bubbles, but you have to go into the air bubbles, and aiming's kind of hard underwater. So
Yeah.
I kind of immediately was like, never mind, I'm gonna play
It reminds
something
me
else.
of when, like, the Mario levels where it'd be underwater and, like, to move.
Yeah, especially because the camera doesn't always stay behind you when you're underwater. So if
Yeah.
you're facing the camera and you're trying to aim, it's backwards.
That confused the crap out of me.
And it's one of those. They fixed this in the Xbox version, but I'm not playing the Xbox version. I'm playing the N64 version that was put onto the Switch. So there are 100 music notes to collect in each level, and 5 little guys called Jinjos. If you die in the middle of a level, that resets.
100 notes?
Yeah, so if you've got like 86 of the notes, you've only got 14 left to collect, you die, you have to go get all 100 again.
No.
Yeah.
I would throw my controller across the room so fast. You know how I handle stuff like that.
And you have, I think it's 8 oxygen like little things, and every 8 seconds one of them goes away. So you have 8 times 8. That's
64.
so you have 64 seconds
To get all of them,
to be
essentially?
underwater. No, you have 64 seconds to be underwater before you have to go back up, and
Okay.
which isn't too bad, but also
Is it one of those things like you have to like know where they're at to be able to do it?
yeah, you kind
quickly?
of have to know where
like
they're
take
at.
one dive just to like see everything and then go back up.
Yep.
I feel like that I might be able to do.
But so
But it'd be
that
tedious.
I played a little bit through the Wario Land games 3 and 4 because 4 was added to the NSO this week. We'll get to that later. That's basically it. I didn't even watch any anime. I didn't watch any other TV shows.
It's been a slow week
It's kind of been a slow
between work and everything.
but busy.
Slow for like
Slow for anything to
stuff.
do in my free time. Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, I did play Slender Threads.
That's right.
I messaged you my review of it, but I'll go over it here. Pretty good point and click adventure game. I like the art. It's got this like, I think I've talked about it before, but it's got like this Monkey Island meets Tim Burton style. The voice acting's great. There's one voice actress in particular that just does a phenomenal job. And there's, good gameplay. There's a quick travel system. if you don't want to walk across town every time you need to go from place to place.
Yeah.
Which you get an achievement for not using quick travel. And then like, because most of there's point and click adventure games, you'll click on something and you'll have an option of like looking at it, talking to it, grabbing it. This game, which other games have done this, but it's just nice that this one did it. The first thing you click will always be the most useful thing, but if you right click, then it'll give you the options of doing everything.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like it has a way to get through the game at a fast pace if you know what you're doing, like if you're trying to speed run it or something.
But also at a leisurely stroll.
But also you can do whatever, you can take it at your own pace. Puzzles weren't too hard, but the ending was just kind of abrupt, in my opinion. Like it wrapped some things up, but it didn't wrap everything up.
Yeah.
There were some characters and stuff that were kind of built up that just kind of went nowhere. The twist, I don't want to get into spoilers, which is why I'm trying to like say as little as possible, but like I just didn't care for it. There's this thing that like I don't know if I'm cursed or if it's just like a creative choice that I'm not realizing in point and click adventure games, that the ones I played that just haven't done it and the ones I keep, like the new ones I keep playing, just make this decision. But where the ending just kind of ends, like they didn't know what to do with the ending of the characters, so they just went, oh, maybe this just happens, the end.
Yeah.
And so that's
like throw something on there and call it good.
Yeah, and so that's how this feels. Which, I mean, the name of the game, kind of, Slender Threads, is kind of a hint at what the twist is.
Yeah.
As well as some other stuff throughout it was fine. It only diminished the game for me a little bit. It's still like a 9 out of 10, I think, is what I ranked it. And
I think, you did give it a 9.
it's still a pretty good game. Very good. But, that ending just kind of...
threw it off balance a little bit.
In my opinion, it kind of contradicts what the message the game was trying to get across, in my opinion. But like I said, it's a review. Of course, it's all my opinion, but I still recommend it because the ending's divisive and I recognize it, so you might end up playing it and liking it.
Yeah.
So, it is very dark humor. Like,
I feel like I'd like
you would absolutely laugh. I mean, some of the jokes I sent you, that wasn't the dark humor part, but there's dark humor in it where I'm like, this is messed up, but in a funny way.
Yeah.
Especially sit through the credits because there is a bonus chapter after the credits. There's a post-credits chapter of like a mini puzzle that is also very, very dark and very funny-ish. But yeah, so I guess that's the other big thing I did this week was playing Slender Threads.
Nice.
Beat it in one sitting. It's like 7 hours long, maybe at most, and that's if you spend some time wandering around not knowing what to do, like I did. But there's very little time you're ever going to wander around not knowing what to do because A, there's a hint system, and B, if you're paying attention to a story-driven game.
You'll know
what to do. Sometimes story-driven games won't tell you what to do. Like it'll be like, oh yes, you must go up to the quarry, and then like, oh, I wasn't paying attention. What did it say? And there's no note about going up to the quarry, so you just gotta wander around till you find the one guy that goes, oh yes, go up to the quarry.
You don't want to redo anything because you've already seen him, and you're like, but you don't remember what he said.
Yeah.
Should I get to my releases?
Yes, sir.
In theaters this week, on Friday, February 14th, of course, the big one, was Captain America Brave New World. Sam finds himself in the middle of an international incident after meeting with President Thaddeus Ross. He must soon discover the reason behind a nefarious global plot before the true mastermind has the entire world seeing red. Armand, a single celebrity mother, is called to his son's school by an incompetent teacher and admin duo to discuss an incident involving his son and his friend. Paddington in Peru was also a big release. Paddington Bear and the Brown family travel to Peru to visit his Aunt Lucy, but soon find themselves embroiled in a mysterious adventure through the Amazon rainforest and Peruvian mountains after discovering that Aunt Lucy has gone missing, leading them to encounter treasure hunters and uncover secrets about the lost city of El Dorado while navigating the dangers of the jungle in search of their beloved Aunt Lucy. Becoming Led Zeppelin got an expansion. Interviews, performances, and never-before-seen footage provide insight into the origins of Led Zeppelin and their meteoric rise to musical stardom. Tuesday, February 11th, saw the release of The Witcher on streaming of The Witcher, Sirens of the Deep on Netflix. Hired to investigate seaside village attacks, mutant monster hunter Geralt unravels an age-old conflict between humans and sea people that threatens war between kingdoms. Thursday, February 13th, saw a handful. My Fault London, released on Amazon Prime Video. An 18-year-old girl named Noah moves from America to London with her mother and wealthy stepfather. She meets her stepbrother and an attraction brews despite their efforts. Unaware, her estranged father tracks her down after release from prison. La Dolce Via, released on Netflix when his daughter decides to buy a crumbling Tuscan villa. Eric rushes to Italy to talk her out of it. He instead finds beauty, romance, and a new purpose. The Gorge, released on Apple TV Plus, 2 highly trained operatives are appointed to posts in guard towers on opposite sides of a vast and highly classified gorge, protecting the world from a mysterious evil that lurks within. They work together to keep the secret in the gorge. Bridget Jones, Mad About the Boy, released on Peacock, which is the final Bridget Jones movie. Synopsis reads, Bridget Jones finally has some luck in her life. She has a great job as a screenwriter, her family, and a new boyfriend. The fact that he is over 20 years younger than her isn't the only thing that is causing problems. Waitress the Musical hit Max, and then on Friday, February 14th, Flow also was released on Max. TV on Sunday, February 9th, The Floor had its season 3 premiere on Fox, and before that, of course, the Super Bowl LIX, which I believe is 59, premiered. I do have some trailers for that. Monday, February 10th, Surviving Black Hawk Down's docuseries released on Netflix. Wednesday, February 12th, saw the season 13 premiere of The Masked Singer on Fox. Cobra Kai Season 6C, which is the final batch of episodes for the series, released on Netflix on Thursday, February 13th. And on Friday, February 14th, Love is Blind Season 8 dropped on Netflix. And Yellow Jackets Season 3 had its premiere on Paramount Plus, which you will get my thoughts on that in the next episode because I am a diehard Yellow Jackets fan. That is all of my releases for this week.
Got some releases this week. February 10th, we had Astronomics on PC from Numismatic. Top-down action and space exploration meets asteroid mining automation. Navigate to randomly generated asteroids passing by and start mining. Impress your employer, upgrade your equipment, fight off pirates, and save up for that ticket to Earth so you can finally come home for the very first time. February 11th, we got Cold VR on PC from Allware and publisher Perp Games. Keep moving. You've got to keep moving because in this high adrenaline shooter, Cold VR, when you slow down, time goes faster, and so does the relentless enemy AI, and you really don't want that to happen. It's similar to Superhot, which, I mean, when we talked about it before, when the trailer came out, they made a joke about Superhot. Sid Meier's Civilization 7, released on all major platforms from Firaxis Games and publisher 2K. The award-winning strategy game franchise returns with a revolutionary new chapter. Sid Meier's Civilization 7 empowers you to build the greatest empire the world has ever known. Pretty cool. I'm hoping that when the Switch 2 comes out, that it uses the mouse. I mean, I keep saying that. It uses the mouse controls. Because the only Civilization game I've ever played was Civ 4 on my Music Pastor's PS3.
PS3 has to be a while ago.
Yeah, this was like when we first moved here, like that long ago, and used controllers for that. But then I played another one on PC. I'm like, how can I ever go back to controller controls for this game?
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like it's better with a mouse and almost impossible with a
It's like
unless you're very, very skilled.
It's kind of similar to I can't play Minecraft on consoles. Mm-hmm. I just don't know how people do it. My sister plays Minecraft on Switch. Yeah, and like I
tried to play Planet Zoo on my PS5. Got a little bit far. I'm like, would probably be so much easier with a PC.
Steam Doll's Order of Chaos entered early access on PC from The Shady Gentleman. Enter the world of Steam Dolls in this narrative-driven stealth meets action adventure. Step into the blood-drenched shoes of the Whisper, played by David Hayter, and entrench yourself in the shadows of the labyrinthine city gone mad. You will know 4 words: action, exploration, stealth, and blood.
Nice.
David Hayter, I believe, is the voice actor for Solid Snake. I don't know about in the remake, but in the original.
And more on that later.
Yeah, more on that later. The executive movie industry tycoon, also released on PC from Aniki Games and publishers Goblins Publishing and Maple Whispering Limited, shaped the history of the Hollywood movie industry in this sandbox business simulation game. Create the movies you've always wanted to see, hire the best team, research cutting-edge technologies, and dominate the box office. Can you rise from a small studio to a Hollywood giant? On February...
I would love that.
You would love... Oh, I saw that. I'm like, that's a J game.
I would absolutely love that.
February 12th, we got Legacy, Steel, and Sorcery. Entered early access on PC from Notorious Studios. Legacy, Steel, and Sorcery is an action combat PvPvE extraction RPG set in the classic fantasy world of Mythogard. Rich with expansive outdoor zones. Play solo or with friends to gather loot, slaying creatures, or even other players. Sancticide entered early access on PC from Red Square Games and Silent Studio. Apparently this was just the week to release stuff on early access.
Yeah.
Become Ezekiel, sin collector in the service of them at the top, as he ventures through what is left of our world during the end times. It's the apocalypse, and his job is to eradicate sin for the glory of God. Can a mere human really endure such fate? Warriors Abyss on PlayStation, Xbox, and PC, released on February 12th. Released on the Switch on the 13th from Koei Tecmo. Take command of historic, masterful warriors by challenging countless swarms of enemies. Through victory and defeat, traverse the merciless trials of hell. There are 100 and more heroes to play with, allowing them to combine the unique traits of multiple heroes and create their own powerful parties who will help them fight their way through the dead souls of hell. That was also shadow dropped. That was just announced and released that day.
It's like that Netflix series from like a couple weeks ago.
During the State of Play, which we will also get to later.
Yes.
February 13th, we had Dawn Folk on PC from Darren Keller and publisher Astrological. Dawn Folk is a charmingly dark and minimalist survival city builder. Gather resources, rebuild your realm, and protect your people from oppressive shadows. Can you unveil the secrets of the monoliths to bring light back to the world? Rugby 25 on PC, Xbox, and PlayStation from devs Big Ant Studios and publisher Nikon. Experience the Rugby 25 rush. From local club clashes to the grandest international championships, lifelike gameplay, strategic depth, and heart-stopping action ensure every match is a battle and every victory earned on the path to immortality.
Is that like a 2K25?
It's rugby.
It's rugby. Okay.
Yeah. Slime Heroes on Xbox and PC from devs Pancake Games and publisher Whitethorn Games. You are the last slime and the only one that can save your home from the corruption consuming it. Play alone or with a friend to find different weapons, dynamically create your own magical abilities, and express the way you want to adventure in this Slimes-like action adventure.
I feel like I'd like that.
That was one we talked about way back, I think May. I think that was one of the first. That was one of the first games we talked about. I think, like announcement wise. So pretty cool to actually see it out. I do have a question though. You're the last slime, but it's 2-player, and the second player is also a slime.
Split, maybe.
Yeah, maybe it splits. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know how I missed this release because it originally released October 1st on PC, but The Strongest Tofu was ported to Switch from Zaonoshi Games and publisher Phoenix Inc. Be the Tofu, the one and only tofu action game created by the real Tofu Meister. You choose one of 3 varieties. In this endless journey, it gradually softens, crumbles, stews, and acquires bittern to become tofu. It's a platformer. It's a precision platformer. So it's like one of those like ragey platformers, and you play as a tofu. You just play as a block of tofu.
We need to play that.
I don't know how. If I did talk about it back in October, I feel like I would have remembered it.
Yeah, that's one of those things where.
So it must have just not been on, like, somehow missed under my radar because I like to think I'm pretty thorough about releases.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's ones I miss just because I kind of stopped checking Steam because there's just so much crap to scroll through. I'm like, if I miss anything, yeah. Tiny Terry's Turbo Trip made its way to PlayStation and Switch from Sneckflat and publisher Super Rare Originals. We've talked about this one before. Terry wants to launch himself into space using his new car. Doing something this cool and reckless will surely make him talk of the town. Run, drive, and glide through this small journey of big discoveries as Terry works towards achieving that goal.
I remember that one because I couldn't get the title right like 3 times in a row.
Yeah. We also got Urban Myth Dissolution Center on PC, Switch, and PlayStation from devs Hakababunko and publisher Shueisha Games. Join forces with the psychic director of the Urban Myth Dissolution Center and solve a variety of cases involving cursed relics, rental properties with shady histories, and dimensional anomalies. Monstrous oddities and otherworldly planes abound in this occult mystery adventure game. And on February 14th, we got After Love EP on all major platforms from developer Pike Selnesia and publisher Fellow Traveler. From the creator of Coffee Talk and What Comes After comes a slice-of-life adventure set in modern Jakarta about love, loss, and finding your own way forward. Step into the shoes of Rema, a young musician struggling to move on after the death of his girlfriend, Sinta. The Legend of Heroes trails through Daybreak 2 on PlayStation, PC, and Switch from devs Nihon Falcom and PH3 GmbH and publisher NIS America, return to the Calvard Republic and unravel the mystery of the Crimson Beast. One day, a shocking series of murders set the wheels of fate into motion once again. Chaos looming over on the horizon, the Springen von Arkwright receives an unexpected visitor. Who is behind the murders and what is their goal? And finally, on February 14th, we had Tomb Raider 4 through 6 remastered on all major platforms from Aspyr and Crystal Dynamics. Her legacy lives on. Play the next series of Tomb Raider adventures in this remastered collection of the Darkness trilogy.
Is that the like Rise of the Tomb Raider, Shadow of the Tomb Raider?
No, that is
the OG.
The OG Tomb Raider. Like we had 1 through 3. This is 4 through 6.
Okay.
Of like just the OG twin stick.
Yeah.
Or I say twin stick. You have to stand still and then use both sticks to control both their arms.
Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah. So
Nice.
those are my releases for this week.
A couple of those we will have to play for Let's Plays. I got a couple. Posters. We got posters for a Minecraft movie, Lilo and Stitch. The 97th Oscars for the second episode in a row. Friendship, G20. The Monkey, also for the second episode in a row. Flow, Until Dawn, and The Accountant 2. And trailers specifically released during the Super Bowl. We got a new trailer for The Amateur, April 11th in theaters. F1, releasing June 27th in theaters. Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning, May 23rd in theaters. And Lilo and Stitch, May 23rd in theaters. Was not like a full trailer. Did you see the Lilo and Stitch one?
Yes.
He's running across, I loved it, across the football field. And then the rest of the week, we got trailers for Friendship, releasing May in theaters. G20, April 10th on Amazon Prime Video. A Minecraft movie, April 2nd in theaters. Until Dawn, April 25th in theaters. The Accountant 2, also April 25th in theaters. Borderline, March 14th in theaters. Bridgerton Season 4, releasing 2025 on Netflix. Twisted Metal Season 2, releasing summer 2025 on Peacock. And Snow White, releasing March 21st in theaters. And in terms of release dates, we only got 2. The Phoenician Scheme, Wes Anderson's new dark espionage film, will release on June 6th in theaters, starring Michael Cera, Benicio del Toro, Mia Thrippleton, Tom Hanks, Bryan Cranston, Riz Ahmed, Jeffrey Wright, Scarlett Johansson, Richard Ayoade, Rupert Friend, and Benedict Cumberbatch. And The Hunt releases on October 17th in theaters. For casting, for SNL 50, the anniversary special, which is on its second episode in a row, they announced the remaining guests that will make an appearance, including Eddie Murphy, Amy Poehler, Jimmy Fallon, Fred Armisen, Molly Shannon, Garrett Morris, Kristen Wiig, Adam Sandler, Will Ferrell, Maya Rudolph, Jane Curtin, Pete Davidson, Tina Fey, Tracy Morgan, Chris Rock, Andy Samberg, Kenan Thompson, Will Forte, Kate McKinnon, Chevy Chase, Seth Meyers, Lorraine Newman, and Jason Sudeikis. That's probably only including like former cast members. The Odyssey, for the 5th episode in a row, Jesse Garcia and Will Yun Lee is cast. More on that film later. Masters of the Universe, Miranda Baccarin and Johannes Hauker Johannesson have been cast as the Sorceress and Fisto, respectively. The Legally Blonde prequel series has cast Lexi Mindtree as young Elle Woods. New presenters were announced for the 97th Oscars, including Halle Berry, Penelope Cruz, Elle Fanning, Whoopi Goldberg, Scarlett Johansson, John Lithgow, Amy Poehler, June Squibb, and Bowen Yang. Ariana Grande has been offered roles in multiple movies, but has yet to commit to any, including the Spaceballs sequel, a disaster wedding comedy, and a female detective romp set in a housewife-style reality show, which I believe we announced a couple weeks ago with Jennifer Lawrence.
I think so. I would love for her to be in the new Spaceballs.
I know. Oh, dude, after all she's done on SNL, she's perfect.
Yeah.
She can do a comedy, no problem at all.
Piper and I were talking about the other, like when we watched that episode, about the fact that there's an alternate universe where she is either a like A-list SNL cast member,
Oh, absolutely.
or B, like one of the like up and coming voice actresses.
Absolutely. Dude, I remember I saw an interview with Bowen Yang, I think it might have been Howard Stern, where he's like, who of guest hosts do you think would be the best cast member? And he like almost immediately went, Ariana Grande's up there. Of course, they're friends already. But
Yeah.
Like, have you seen the episode she hosted, and then like the Moulin Rouge sketch that when she was a musical guest?
Yeah.
She can fit right in.
Oh, absolutely.
She has such good
and
comedic
then
timing.
like the fact that she had those interviews after Wicked came out of being like, not to scare my musical fans, but I think I want to act more. Like
exactly. We're like, okay.
like it's like, yeah, no duh. When she was Kat, like.
Yeah, it was good.
I mean, starting out acting for one, but also like just going that far back, being that young and being a character actor is just
perfect.
Yeah.
She's surprisingly, I dare I say surprisingly, very good comedic actress. Peter Dinklage has been cast in Dexter Resurrection. John Ross Bowie will return for the Big Bang Theory spinoff about the comic book store.
The Big Bang Theory spinoff, which is probably going to focus on Stewart.
Yeah.
I think it's probably just going to be about the comic book store. But it's just like, what's all the interesting reoccurring characters that everyone remembers from the last show? Let's just have them be the stars of the show.
main characters.
We'll see how well this goes.
Yeah.
We'll see.
We've said it. You said it before, but the Big Bang Theory is the new Cheers, where there's going to have some form of thing going on for 21 years. 22 years.
Because let's see, we had let's Cheers, and then a spinoff of Cheers was Frasier.
And they ended. Cheers ended the spring of '93, and Frasier started.
Frasier started, so that's kind of like the.
And they each had 11 seasons.
That's kind of like the Young Sheldon and Georgie and Mandy's first marriage. That is like that situation, but because Young Sheldon and Big Bang Theory kind of played at the same time for the last 2 seasons, I think, of Big Bang Theory. But whereas this is more like, I almost see this being like the spinoff about. There was a short-lived spinoff of Cheers. About
the Tortellis?
Yeah, the Tortellis.
Yeah, or last for 1 season. I haven't seen it.
Well, we'll see. It could end up being good. Do you think it's going to be a Young Sheldon type sitcom, or is it going to be Big Bang Theory, Georgie and Mandy's, where it's going to be like, the laugh track?
I haven't seen. Did watch some at Chronicles because they're in the process of watching Young Sheldon, and we watched like the first 2 episodes of The Big Bang Theory because they heard I'd never seen it before. But I mean that it feels like they're probably going to stick with The Big Bang Theory kind of where it's like laugh track. Or was it a live audience?
I think it was a live audience for
at
least a little bit. It might have been later on. It might have been laugh track, but I think earlier on there's longer pauses in their jokes that I think might have been for kind of like Friends. It was in front of a live studio audience because there was a lot of pauses.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I feel like that's just gonna. It feels like more of like a multicam thing than what Young Sheldon is. The Dog stars Margaret Qualley, Josh Brolin, and Guy Pearce have been cast. The Harry Potter TV series, John Lithgow is in final talks to star as Dumbledore. And Jason Isaacs, when asked if he would want to return for the Harry Potter reboot series, said, quote, "I'm hoping to come back as Hermione," which I loved. I loved it.
Anytime Jason Isaacs does like interviews with stuff, I'm just like, man, this...
It's good.
Yeah.
We get a good quote out of him every time. The Friday the 13th prequel series, Linda Cardellini is in talks to star as Pamela Voorhees. And breaking, I was typing it as you were saying your announcements or your releases. Euphoria Season 3, Rosalia and Marshawn Lynch have been cast. They announced the returning cast includes Zendaya, Hunter Schafer, Eric Dane, Jacob Elordi, Sydney Sweeney, Alexa Dimmy, Maude Apatow, Martha Kelly, Chloe Cherry, and Coleman Domingo. However, Nika King, Algie Smith, Dominic Fike, Storm Reed, and Barbie Ferreira will not be returning. That is all of my first half of miscellaneous I have right now.
My gaming news I have, Wario Land 4 made its way to the GBA Nintendo Switch Online app February 14th. Well, actually the night of the 13th, last night, but that's technically the 14th in Japan. Yeah. So it released on the 14th. Thomas K. Young, creator of the Dadish games, announced his next game, Be Brave, Barb, about a gravity-defying cactus, coming to Switch, PC, and mobile devices on March 12th.
Wait, what was
that? Thomas K. Young, creator of the Dadish games, announced his next game, Be Brave, Barb, about a gravity-defying cactus.
Ooh. We know how much I love Dadish.
Releases on Switch, PC, and mobile March 12th. Elden Ring Night Rain will release on May 30th on PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. Civ 7 VR was announced, launching this spring. Megami Games announced Metroidvania Chronicles of the Wolf coming to all major platforms later this year. Into the Restless Ruins was announced from Ant Workshop, a Scottish folklore-inspired roguelike deck builder in which the players fight through dungeons built by the cards they have in their hand. Releases this spring on all major platforms. I don't play deck builders much, but that actually seems interesting.
Yeah.
That each room that you go through is on a card in your hand, so you kind of have to you get to kind of choose what happens next, but also not because the cards will be random.
Yeah.
But yeah, He Is Coming was announced, a retro roguelike auto battler RPG coming to PC this spring. One Piece Pirate Warriors 4 is being ported to modern Xbox and PlayStation consoles. No date was given. A reimagining of Atari's 1984 arcade shooter iRobot is coming to all major platforms this year from famed developer Jeff Minter. The Wallace and Gromit DLC for Power Wash Simulator has narrowed its release date to March 4th.
Yes.
4-player co-op body cam horror game Deadly Quiet about trekking through the Hoya Baciu forest. I don't know how to say that.
I have no idea.
Anyway, that was announced. Flesh Made Fear was announced, a survival horror game described as a love letter to the PS1 era, coming to PC Q4 2025. Co-op horror comedy Panic Delivery was announced, about couriers trying to complete deliveries in a monster-infected post-apocalypse, releases later this year on PC. That seems like something we might have to play with the guys. YouTubers Life 3 Stream Together was announced. The third installment in this YouTuber simulator franchise releases on PC in 2025. And the re-release of 90s 3D platformer classic Glover has been set for a February 27th release on all major platforms. A PlayStation State of Play was held February 12th. New trailer and gameplay for Monster Hunter Wilds releasing February 28th. We got the first free update info. Comes to the game spring 2025 and includes the monster Mitsutsune. Next update is summer 2025. As per Jay's notes, he would like to highlight.
You'll see, I took notes for you. For
yeah,
this,
I was at work, so I couldn't
Yeah.
watch it all the way. But
I have various times you'll see me connect here with my thoughts because I put on here. I was kind of like both taking notes down and also live reacting. There's a fart attack, just straight up fart attack from a creature, and I was dying.
Yeah, this like orangutan like monster just turns around and just farts on you.
It's literally a gas cloud in the trailer. It's so funny.
It's not even like a funny green one. It's like a gross like.
It's brown.
Yeah.
It's straight up brown.
Yeah. Sega announced Shinobi Art of Vengeance, a hand-drawn 2D action platformer releasing August 29th. It's a reboot of the classic series. Looks beautiful. Like that looks awesome. I got to watch that trailer live and I was like, man, that looks good.
Art of Vengeance.
Art of Vengeance. I believe this is part of Sega's. They announced last year, I think 2023. They announced 2023 that they were going to start bringing back a lot of their old franchises. Like they weren't just going to focus on Sonic and then whatever other companies they own, like Atlas and stuff. Like they wanted to start bringing back old Sega franchises. So this is one of them. So it's cool to see that back. Sonic Racing Crossworlds received a full reveal trailer after being teased at the Game Awards in December. A closed network test will be held February 21st through the 23rd. A gameplay reveal of switching to new tracks halfway through the race via a ring portal was shown off, which is pretty cool. It's not just going to be Sonic-themed racing tracks. It's going to be based on other Sega properties.
Yeah.
Hoverboards are making a return from Sonic Riders. And revealed outside of the state of play via a press release is that characters are no longer tied to one vehicle, allowing for options. Like previous games, terrain will change, making the vehicle transform. And gadgets, which are equipable, so like they do thing other than on top of items and the different vehicles, you will also have like an equipable thing that gives you another boost at the beginning of the turn or different things like that. It's not a completely new concept. The earliest I remember a kart racer doing this was actually Nickelodeon Kart Racers 2, where it was almost like Spirits from Smash Ultimate, where you would equip another character and they would give you bonuses while you're racing. Okay. Like Mr. Krabs would give you an extra coin every time you collected enough slime, and coins would make you go faster, like in Mario Kart. So I think it's similar to something like that, only it's not equipable characters. It's not this. I call it the Smash Spirits idea. But anyway.
I said that looks pretty dope.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool. 23 characters will be available at launch. All Sonic characters, further Sonic and Sega characters will be added as DLC along the down the line. I was originally going to list what all 23 characters there were, but I was like, we already have enough news to talk through. But one of them is Sage from Sonic Frontiers, which is pretty cool that we're going to see her in further spin-off stuff. We don't know if we'll see her in any other games. But
is Big the Cat a character?
Yes, Big is one of the racers.
That's my main.
Unfortunately, there's a couple characters from a game called Sonic Lost Worlds that they keep bringing back. Yeah. So they brought two of them back for this, where it's like, you could have chosen other people. But if we're getting DLC, then I guess it's not that. It's just the fact that there's 23 characters at launch. All of them are Sonic characters, even though it's supposed to be a crossover game. Yeah. So that's a little odd choice, but it still looks really good. I saw this thing where people are like, oh man, when they announced the new Mario Kart for the Switch 2, the Sonic racing game is in so much trouble. And then people saw the gameplay for this and was like, oh man, maybe the new Mario Kart's in trouble. And I saw someone make the meme of this guy sitting there like, oh boy, 2 cakes.
No, it's not wrong.
Because it's like, for me, I'm like, I can't wait to play both.
Exactly. 24 spots either way.
Yeah. Bandai Namco announced Digimon Story Time Stranger releasing in 2025. Lost Soul Aside, a new gameplay and story trailer, and a release date of May 30th. Like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza got a new trailer, a demo releasing on February 14th, and a reminder of its release on February 21st. Yakuza crossover content with Dave the Diver called Ichiban's Holiday releases this April. An alpha release of Splitgate 2 will take place on February 27th. WWE 2K25 received more info, an island online environment with quests, live events, and more. Share an island with 50 other players. The game will release March 14th. Jacob's hoping that you can just start fights with people in the middle of the island.
Go behind someone.
Yeah, just pile drive them and start a fight. Because apparently in one of the Dragon Ball fighting games, there's like it's kind of like that where there's like a online common area and you could just punch somebody and start a fight with them. So that would be funny. Borderlands 4 will release September 23rd. A dedicated state of play will air later this spring. This trailer sold me on a little more. It looks 4? A little closer to an art style to the other, because the first couple trailers we got, the art style looked different. Like it wasn't as cell shaded and stuff, but it actually kind of looks. I'm starting to look more like Borderlands. The other two trailers really kind of look like they were going in much more of a different direction. But, Split Fiction got a new trailer, releases March 23rd. We are totally playing that.
Absolutely, that's what I was going to say.
A new game from the Until Dawn devs, Directive 8020, starring Lashana Lynch, got a new trailer, releases October 2nd. What? Your note of is that Lashana Lynch? Yeah, that's Lashana Lynch.
Lashana Lynch, 2 question marks, I think, question mark, and then right after that, definitely Lashana Lynch.
Okay, reading through Jay's notes when I was making my own was like finding, those old notes in a video game where you're trying to decipher what the writings of a madman mean. Five Nights at Freddy's Secret of the Mimic got a new trailer showing off new animatronics and mascot costumes, like perfectly creepy. Like I love because
there's an elephant, there's like a mouse thing.
Into the security breach was all right. It was kind of a buggy mess, but it's all right. Wasn't creepy enough. The DLC made it creepier, but the original just kind of had this. It wasn't creepy. Like Five Nights at Freddy's is known for being scary / creepy. This was not. This actually looks like it's leaning more towards the creepy again, which I actually enjoy. We got more gameplay teases and a release date of June 13th.
And I said it actually looks pretty interesting.
Yeah,
I'm kind of intrigued by it.
Interesting to see what the mushroom guy is. Obviously, this is the Mimic, so a white tiger animatronic might pop up in the game because that's what one of the animatronics forms it takes in the books.
Yeah.
And the books appear. Look, Five Nights at Freddy's lore-wise, I stopped trying to keep track a long time ago. As soon as they were like, "Oh yeah, the books are canon," I'm like, "Oh, never mind." It's an alternate. The thing is, it's an alternate timeline, but it's also not, because some of the things might be referenced in the games, even though originally it was like, "Oh, the books are alternate timeline. I don't have to worry about it." And then they started referencing the books in the games. I mean, Into the Pit is stinking a book adaptation. So like,
I've heard enough about the lore where I'm like, there's no point in me looking at it.
Oh yeah, Jay, don't try now. I'm already in too deep.
Yeah.
Don't.
You're like,
now.
don't come with me.
Yeah. Claymation horror game Midnight Walk received a new look. Releases May 8th. It's also a VR game. Maybe there was. I saw that. I had a tough time to figure out if it was only VR or if it was just a VR
both.
Options.
It looks interesting.
Yeah. Anytime Claymation pops up in video games is always cool. Darwin's Paradox was announced. An octopus named Darwin escaping a food processing center. Think Octodad meets Inside is the note I made.
My note I made was I need this stat. And also there's aliens involved.
Yeah. It looks pretty cool. I'm actually going to have to show this one to my sister because she loves Inside and Limbo and Hue and all those kind of like puzzly platformers where there's not a whole, like you're running from stuff more than you're fighting anything. So I'm going to have to show her this because if it does come to Switch, because this was an state of play, so it might be a PlayStation exclusive.
Yeah.
But she might like that, so pretty cool. Warriors Abyss was announced and shadow dropped.
They did say there's going to be 16 billion battle styles.
Numbers like that always freak me out because as a completionist, I'm like, I will never in my lifetime
be able to do
that. Like there was this game theory on Super Smash Bros. Ultimate that every kind of matchup with every kind of stage and rule set and everything, you will never in your lifetime play everything Smash has to offer because of all the possibilities. And that, I think that video came out, let's see, it would have been like 2017. I went through an existential crisis. because I'm an anxious mess. So
Yeah.
anyway, Onimusha 2 Samurai's Destiny got another look, releasing May 23rd. Onimusha Way of the Sword comes in 2026, got another look. We got a new trailer for Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater Delta, which is a remake of Snake Eater, revealing a August 28th release and confirming the return of Ape Escape content from the original. That's the monkey you were talking about in your notes.
And I can't see what else I said about it.
You thought it was more Astrobot?
I thought it was Astrobot. I saw a little thing. I'm like, and I also put, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of want to play Metal Gear. I've never played Metal Gear Solid, but I love stealth stuff.
You'd love the stories too, dude.
Absolutely.
It's like espionage.
Exactly. Like, I love spy stuff, espionage, stealth. I feel like Metal Gear Solid is right up my alley.
The originals are solid. The remakes, I'm trying to think of any of the remakes. Like they all seem to be good. So like, yeah, they're good games. Like I said earlier, talking about David Hayter as Solid Snake. I don't know if he's Solid Snake in the remake. I don't know if they're keeping the original audio or anything. But yeah, Hell Is Us trailer was shown off, releasing September 4th. Looks creepy. Looks fun.
Not at my alley.
Yeah, not at Jay's.
We got a couple of their string where I'm like, I'm
the
gonna do
dude
it.
with a hole for a face. I was like, yeah, Jay's gonna be like, nope.
You're like you're looking through my notes. You said you're looking for like nopes. I was saying them.
Yeah.
I should put them in the notes.
Lies of P Overture DLC expansion for Lies of P coming this summer. Jay thought this was.
Should I read my notes?
Yeah, you should. Jay should read his notes.
So I put trailer, and then below that I put, this looks kind of interesting, museum/history type. And then right after I'm like, never mind, I spoke too soon.
Yep, it's for those who don't know.
I thought it was gonna be like Tomb Raider kind
of. For those who don't know, which there's not a whole lot who won't know if they're specifically looking for this type of game, but Lies of P is a Dark Souls game, like gameplay wise, about Pinocchio. It's like a twisted retelling of Pinocchio with Dark Souls mechanics, and it's exciting to get more DLC. I want to play the original, and now that I know there's gonna be more to play by the time I'm actually going to get around to play it, I'm excited. Voxel action game Dreams of Another, about using weapons to create, coming in 2025. Looked interesting.
Digging it.
Days Gone Remastered with a new permadeath and speedrun mode, releasing April 2025. The game is still probably going to be bad. I'll say that right now. You remember, I can't remember if I mentioned it on here, but there was news around the time that Astrobot came out where the creator of Days Gone got mad there was a Days Gone robot in Astrobot because it's like they're using my game's corpse to promote nostalgic baiting kitty crap or something like that. It's like, dude, they're acknowledging that you're a big part of history, even though your game is crap.
Yeah, just be happy you got in there.
Look, if people like the game, it's fine, but the game's just not good. Nikki crossover content is coming to Stellar Blade this June. Jedi Survivor, Top Spin 2K25, and Lost Records will be the next PlayStation Plus catalog games. Coming February 18th, Lost Records Bloom and Rage is releasing February 18th, with Episode 2 coming this summer. The puzzle strategy game Blueprints is coming to the game catalog this spring, as well as the game Abiotic Factor. 3 Armored Core games and Patapon 3 are coming to the classic catalog at a later date. I don't think I saw a date.
I don't think they said.
Fantasy action game Tides of Annihilation was announced in an 11-minute trailer, no release date. Sci-fi first-person shooter Metal Eden was announced, coming May 6th. Mind's Eye, PlayStation's next narrative-driven single-player action game, was announced, follows former soldier Jacob Diaz as he investigates fractured memories in Red Rock, a desert town plagued with the results of AI and human greed. Releases this summer.
That was intriguing.
It looks interesting, yeah.
I put the guy, it looks like the same guy that played Lonnie in Mafia 3, which could be the same guy.
Could be, yeah. If they both use motion capture.
Yeah.
Saros was also announced from Horsemark. Gameplay will be shown later this year, but the game releases in 2026. Follows a human colony on another planet under an ominous eclipse. And that was the state of play. I think it was Jeff Grubb was saying before the state of play came out that he had heard it would be like somewhat disappointing, and I could see where people would think that. There's a lot of games that specifically for me are exciting.
Yeah.
But overall, if I were to grade it, I'd give it maybe a C plus.
As someone who like just enjoyed it, I'm like, it was pretty all right.
Only because
there's only a handful that I was actually interested in.
Only because
No Wolverine. Just kidding.
I said there's games that we're waiting to hear more on.
Wolverine,
more Astrobot DLC, different things that could have been there, and just more first party stuff from PlayStation would be nice. Which after the State of Play came out, they made a statement saying they're planning on making more games like Astrobot, like more family games like Astrobot. And
Good.
Like, where are those? Because like.
We got
Another
Darwin's
reason, because it would usually be a B, but another reason is a lot of these games, I don't want to say look the same, but are samey in the fact that it's a realistic, gritty action game of some kind.
Yeah.
And I can only take so much of those before I'm like, But we still got Darwin's Paradox, Sonic the Hedgehog, or one Sonic the Hedgehog thing, another thing from Sega. Like, there was variety there. It just, towards the end, it was like just 11 minutes. Like, I think it was like the last like 30 minutes of it was actually these 3 other games. So it was like,
yeah.
So I give it a C+. But that's my news for this week.
I got my last batch of miscellaneous and new looks. We got a new look at F1. The fight sequence from Better Man was released online. Avatar Fire and Ash for the 3rd episode in a row. We got our first look at the Ash Village. Mission Impossible The Final Reckoning for the 2nd episode in a row. We got a new look at Tom Cruise doing an underwater stunt where he could only wear the gear for 10 minutes before suffering from hypoxia, saying, quote, "I'm breathing in my own carbon dioxide." Got a new look at The Accountant 2. First look at Carl Urban as Johnny Cage in Mortal Kombat 2, and first look at the logo. First clip released of Mickey 17, which is on his 3rd episode in a row, and our first look at a creeper exploding, and new look at villagers in a Minecraft movie. In terms of first looks, we got our first look at Rue from Euphoria Season 3. First teaser art of Alice in Borderland Season 3. First look at Last Samurai Standing. It's described as Shogun meets Squid Game, following 300 samurai warriors gathered at Tenryuji Temple who fight in a battle royale to win a 100 billion yen prize, releasing in November on Netflix. First look at Armie Hammer in The Dark Knight. First look at Ray Nicholson and Samara Weaving in Borderline. Film follows a pop star who is kidnapped by an obsessive fan who believes they are meant to get married. First look at Ruth Gemmell, Nicola Coughlan, Luke Newton, and Florence Hunt in Bridgerton Season 4. And we got our first look at Emerald Fennell's Wuthering Heights. In terms of box office earnings, Neza 2 for the 2nd episode in a row, which I announced last week that it might become the first film to pass $1 billion in a single market. It did. The film had only been out in China for 11 days at the time of passing $1 billion. And as of, I think, yesterday, it's on track to be the first animated film ever to pass $2 billion. Interstellar had the biggest opening weekend ever for a Hollywood re-release in India. And A Complete Unknown passed $100 million worldwide. Glenn Powell was featured in a Super Bowl ad for Ram Trucks. How to Train Your Dragon. A new teaser was released during the Super Bowl, featuring a new look at Astrid and the first look at the Red Death and the test flight, where they announced the full trailer will be released on Wednesday, which it did, which featured a new look at Mason Thames and Gerard Butler as Hiccup and Stoic, respectively. Our first looks at Stormfly, Gobber, and A Terrible Terror, and our new look at Fishleg, Snotlout, Roughnut, and Tough Nut. We also got a new poster, and then Dean DeBlas says they barely changed the script of How to Train Your Dragon for the live-action remake. And new announcements. Natalie Portman will star in a new rom-com directed by Lena Dunham titled Good Sex. The film follows a woman who falls for a Brooklyn hipster in his 20s, just as she begins a promising relationship with a successful businessman in his 50s. The band, Ben Stiller, will star in the dramedy series for HBO from Search Party creators Sarah Violet Bliss and Charles Rogers. The series follows a pop music talent mogul who must form a new act in order to save his career amid scandal. Taylor Lautner, Werewolf Hunter, did you see that?
Yes.
New TV series in the works at Amazon. The series follows a reality where Taylor Lautner wrapped filming the final Twilight film and vanished from the spotlight to join a secret society of werewolf trackers who need his unique expertise. I'm weirdly so excited.
We must study this phenomenon where a movie or a show will come out where it will be a very, very popular thing, so that all the actors in it will be of note, and then you have one actor whose career just like skyrockets into this interesting direction, Robert Pattinson. You get Kristen Stewart, who kind of just does, she'll pop up here and there. Stuff.
She was nominated for an Oscar.
Like she'll pop up, and then there's Taylor Lautner,
who's become like a meme.
It's happened with other casts, but
this is for the,
specifically for this example here, we have I love this.
I saw that and I was like, what? Is this like a like a History Channel type thing where like they talk about cryptids? No.
Look, if this goes into
Full-on
like
story.
if this goes into like a if Taylor Lautner's career goes into Nick Cage territory of just doing whatever the heck he wants, I don't mind.
I'm down.
Especially if it's stuff like this.
Exactly. What if he becomes like essentially Taylor Lautner Van Helsing?
That would
be so good. It'd be so good. A live-action Dungeons and Dragons series called The Forgotten Realms is in the works at Netflix. Sean Levy is producing. And a sequel to The Goonies is officially moving forward at Warner Brothers after 40 years, with Patsy Pansiroli has been attached to write the script.
Oh, and speaking of scripts, I just wanted to jump back to How to Train Your Dragon.
Yes.
Does the fact that the script is barely changed scare you at all?
I mean, a little bit, but I'm also so optimistic about this.
Yeah.
We're like, you know how excited I am for this.
It's just...
I'm one of the people who didn't mind the live action Lion King essentially being a shot-for-shot remake.
Or I say...
With a couple changes in there.
Shot-for-shot remakes just make me go, what was the point? So we'll see how different they go with some of the... I mean, even though the script hasn't been changed, that doesn't mean other scenes weren't added.
Exactly.
And, very little change. There were some changes.
They could mean by that where, like, the entire script is there, but like you said, they added some. I do have a couple of random miscellaneous. The Studio, which is an Apple TV series releasing in March. Each scene in each episode of Seth Rogen's new movie studio comedy series is one long tracking shot with no edits, saying, quote, "We wanted the show to have an immersive, manic energy to it." And the first episode follows Seth Rogen as a new movie studio head who has to make a movie about the Kool-Aid Man. I'm so excited for this.
I love that the first episode of Straight Up just a statement about all those random comedy films we got about snack food for some reason. It was hot. It was Flamin' Hot.
Mm-hmm. And then
the Pop-Tart one.
Unfrosted. And
then we got, I mean, I guess it wasn't food, but there was, it left
I know what you're talking about.
But yeah, we just got a handful of those. Yeah. We're like, oh, famous brands. Here's a comedy movie about its creation.
Yeah.
So I love that that's the first thing that they're going to talk about.
In a very, like, satire.
Yeah. Tongue-in-cheek kind of.
Yeah. It's about the Kool-Aid Man. HBO expects The Last of Us to be 4 seasons long, saying I wouldn't want to confirm that, but it's looking like this season and then 2 more seasons after this and we're done, which... Quit while you're ahead is kind of my mentality. Netflix CCO Bella Baharia says that Oppenheimer will have still had the same cultural impact if it was a Netflix exclusive, saying, "We would have done an amazing qualifying theatrical run. So many people obviously would have watched it." Okay, think what you want to think.
Yeah, so no, you wouldn't have, but it's fine.
Exactly. That's what the one quote I told you I wanted to bring up. And then more news on the Odyssey, because anytime it's like Wallace and Gromit levels.
Yeah.
For the 5th episode in a row. The Polyphemus Cyclops scene will reportedly be filmed at Nestor's Cave in Greece with a 6x6 millimeter mechanical anthropomorphic puppet built inside the cave. Of course. Of course. I would expect nothing less.
I mean, it's no playing God, but it gets the job done.
Honestly, I'm shocked he's not building one or creating one.
Yeah.
A live one. Christopher Nolan, have you lost your touch?
Did you lose the Necronomicon somewhere?
He misplaced it. He's like, crap. Now we have to build one. Oh, just kidding. I love Christopher Nolan. I love you.
It's one of the things to be so big it has to stay there, and obviously it'll
it's going to be on the list of like ruins and abandoned sites.
Yeah, years later, someone's going to be spelunking in there, and they're just going to see some giant rotting animatronic of Cyclops, and be like, "Oh, crap!"
It's like that fake shark in like the green. Have you seen that in like Australia or somewhere? Mm-hmm. Oh. I pictured it.
Because the 80s live action Ninja Turtles with all the
you're like stuff of nightmares. That is all my miscellaneous I have. You got anniversaries?
I do have the return of anniversaries. I do have the return of anniversaries. February 9th was the 15th anniversary of BioShock 2 on PS3 and Xbox 360. February 10th was the 30th anniversary of Billy Madison and the 85th anniversary of Tom and Jerry. February 11th was the 20th anniversary of Hitch and the 35th anniversary of Dragon Quest IV on the NES. February 12th was the 35th anniversary of Super Mario Bros. 3 on the NES. February 13th was the 10th anniversary of Kingsman Secret Service, the 10th anniversary of Miss Piggy's classic role in 50 Shades of Grey.
Forgot about that.
The 15th
Teaser?
anniversary of Kick Buttowski, Suburban Daredevil. The 30th anniversary of
about
Oregon
that.
Trail 2 on PC, and the 10th anniversary of Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate on 3DS. February 14th was the 5th anniversary of Sonic the Hedgehog, the first anniversary of Madame Web, in which the villain was in the Amazon with her mom when she died researching spiders right before she died.
God, that movie sucked.
I had to include that in there.
Absolutely.
It was also the 25th anniversary of Ridge Racer on N64, which was just like 2 weeks ago put onto the NSO service. And the 20th anniversary of Star Fox Assault and WarioWare Touched on the GameCube and DS respectively. And finally, on February 15th, we had the 40th anniversary of The Breakfast Club and the 10th anniversary of the live-action Cinderella. The Disney live-action
Wow,
Cinderella.
with Lily James.
Yep.
Wow, 10 years old?
10 years ago.
In lieu of birthdays this week, we stated before with the podcast, birthday's probably not going to show up again until after the Oscars. I got the 30th Critics' Choice Awards winners. In film, Wicked won Best Director for John M. Chu, Best Costume Design, and Best Production Design. The Substance won Best Actress for Demi Moore, Best Original Screenplay, and Best Hair and Makeup. A Real Pain won Best Supporting Actor for Kieran Culkin and tied for Best Comedy with Deadpool and Wolverine. Emilia Perez, Zoe Saldana won Best Supporting Actress. El Mal won Best Song, and then Best Foreign Language Film also went to it. Conclave won Best Acting Ensemble and Best Adapted Screenplay. Challengers won Best Editing and Best Score. And then single winners, Honora won Best Picture. Best Actor went to Adrian Brody from The Brutalists. Best Young Actor/Actress went to Maisie Stella. Best Animated Feature went to The Wild Robot. Best Cinematography went to Nosferatu. And Best Visual Effects went to Dune Part 2. In TV, Shogun came away a big winner, winning Best Drama Series, and then Best Actor, Best Supporting Actor, and Best Supporting Actress for Hiroyuki Sanada, Tadanobu Asano, and Moka Hoshi, respectively. Hacks won Best Comedy Series and Best Actress in a Comedy Series and Best Supporting Actress in a Comedy Series for Jean Smart and Hannah Einbinder. Baby Reindeer won Best Limited Series, Best Supporting Actress in a Limited Series or Movie Made for Television for Jessica Gunning. And The Penguin won Best Actor in a Limited Series or Movie Made for Television for Colin Farrell. And Kristen Milioti did win Best Actress in a Limited Series or Movie Made for Television. Best Actress in a Drama Series went to Kathy Bates from Matlock. Adam Brody from Nobody Wants This won Best Actor in a Comedy Series. Michael Urie from Shrinking won Best Supporting Actor in a Comedy Series. Rebel Ridge won Best Movie Made for Television. Liev Schreiber and The Perfect Couple won Best Supporting Actor in a Limited Series or Movie Made for Television. X-Men 97 won Best Animated Series. Squid Game won Best Foreign Language Series. John Mulaney Presents Everybody's in L.A. won Best Talk Show. And Best Comedy Special went to Ali Wong, Single Lady. That is all of the Critics' Choice Award winners. Join us next episode when I'll probably have the SAG Award.
I have some anime news. Princess Principal Crown Handler Movie 4 premieres May 23rd, 2025. Sword of the Demon Hunter Kijin Jintosho premieres March 31st, delayed from June 2024. The Edo period Japan, a young warrior, Jinta, has dedicated his life to the protection of a priestess in a remote mountain village. When demons appear and threaten the shrine, Jinta is tasked with entering the forest to hunt them down. But the mysteries he uncovers there change his fate forever and send him on a journey traversing space and time. Jinta's dark destiny will carry him through hundreds of years of history as he struggles to answer a single question. Why does he wield the sword? Blue Orchestra Season 2 premieres this fall. The Brilliant Healer's New Life in the Shadows premieres April 3rd. Bye Bye Earth Season 2 premieres April 4th. And A Wild Last Boss Appeared premieres this October. The year is 2800 and Lufus Mafal, the black-winged tyrant, great conqueror, and leader of the 12 heavenly stars, has returned. A man wakes up in the body of his MMO character 200 years after her defeat during a player-made event in the game, X-Gate Online. Now he's stuck in her body, but this isn't a game. It's real. With her reign long over and her legacy one of fear, Lufus must journey through the world of X-Gate, looking for answers, possible comrades, and all the monsters her death unleashed upon the world. And I have one comics news that I thought would be interesting to bring up. Marvel has teased the resurrection of Gwen Stacy.
Yes.
Which I could have sworn instead of bringing her back, they just brought Spider-Gwen into the main universe like they did with Miles Morales. But apparently either not, or apparently we're going to have two Gwen Stacys running around.
Did I see like a May thing with that? May
it might have
release
been
date?
in May. I didn't.
I might have just thought that up.
But I did the teaser picture was Gwen Stacy's grave being dug up.
Yeah.
So like it's neck snap Gwen Stacy. It's not.
Yeah. It's not like.
It's not like Spider Gwen was killed and brought back. So we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see what that all means. But it's like,
Interesting.
because Gwen Stacy was kind of like Uncle Ben, where it's like, oh, well, her death is kind of just permanent.
Yeah. Made for the character building.
Yeah. I tell you, one character that's starting to go that direction is Alfred from Batman. He was killed in like 2019 by Bane in the comics, and they still, other than alternate universes, they still have not brought him back. The main universe, Alfred is still dead. So it's like,
if he goes to like Uncle Ben level, then
yeah, which is wild
iconic
to think about because like,
yeah, because you don't think of Alfred as being like the reason Batman is. You think of his parents.
Alfred is kind of what happens is Damian.
He's like the Aunt May kind of figure.
He is, where it's almost like he's invincible unless he can't be for story purposes. And I think if I remember correctly, I don't remember all the details, but like Bane, to get back at Damian Wayne, kidnaps Alfred and snaps his neck on camera.
And not Bruce.
Not Bruce.
Oh, okay.
So Alfred is almost kind of like a
pawn
for like Damian's like drive to become a better hero and stuff. Which is interesting.
Yeah.
There used to be a saying, I'm going to look it up now because I don't want to get it wrong. No one in comics stays dead except Bucky, Jason Todd, and Uncle Ben. This was like a statement made in the 90s, I believe. And then Bucky came back as the Winter Soldier.
I was gonna say.
In the comics, he becomes
Captain
America, but then they made him die in like the 60s. And then he stayed dead until Winter Soldier. And then Jason Todd died and didn't come back until Red Hood in like the early 2000s or something like that. And then Uncle Ben, obviously. But even then, Uncle Ben has been not in the main comics. So Uncle Ben is like the only character in that statement that still is kind of like permanent.
Yeah.
Because they don't bring him back in the main universe. There are alternate universes where he's Spider-Man or where Aunt May dies instead. In fact, the current Ultimate Comics, Aunt May's the one that's dead and Uncle Ben's the one that's alive.
Yeah.
Which brings this really interesting dynamic of like an older Peter Parker who is already a dad and stuff, getting his mentorship from Uncle Ben. It's really cool. It's a really cool thing. I love the new Ultimate Comics so much. But anyway, so all that being said, you could say no one in comics stays dead except for Uncle Ben and Gwen Stacy, because in the main universe, I don't know if Gwen Stacy's been brought back all that much. So that was a big long aside. But
it's an aside.
But yeah.
Before I get into my comics news, I do have something that just broke 10-ish minutes ago. The Monkey will be the first film available to screen in churches across the U.S. simultaneously with theaters, which is wild. On the DC side of things for me, The Penguin, of course, as previously mentioned, wins at the 30th Critics' Choice Awards. Superman, for the second week in a row, we got our first poster for Crypto and a new look at Guy Gardner. The Batman Part 2, Andy Serkis says Matt Reeves has now told him the story. He said, quote, "I am as hungry for it as you all are. He told me the story of the Batman 2 and I was so excited for it." And Robert Pattinson says it will begin filming at the end of the year. And then for Clayface, Jeff Wadlow, who directed Truth or Dare, and James Watkins, who directed Speak No Evil, are the finalists to helm the movie. And the casting process has also begun. On the Marvel side of things, Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, for the third episode in a row, episodes 6 through 8 released. Before it released, a fight sequence between Daredevil and Spider-Man was released online, and Coleman Domingo says he would be interested in returning as Norman Osborn in live action in the MCU, which I think I kind of alluded to last week. I'm down for it.
Yeah.
I'm down for it. Episodes 6 through 8 were really good.
I watched the first episode. I like the story. I like the voice
Story's
acting.
really good.
Story's good. Voice acting's good. The animation is rough.
Yeah. And like I said, if you can get past that.
It looks good when it's sitting still.
Yeah.
But the animations, it's almost like a reverse of the Smurfs, where the Smurfs looked good in movement, but it didn't look good in standing still. This is like, it looks good standing still because it's got like the cell shading is perfect for making it look like a comic book panel when it's standing still. But there were times when the lip movement didn't always match, and not to the point of like, oh, cartoon, sometimes the lips not gonna, like it was rough. But if you can get past that,
the story is
the story's good.
Stories, especially through episode 8, dude. The last 2 episodes will release next week, but oh, dude. tell me about it whenever you get to like more, because I want to talk to you about this because I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Captain America: Brave New World, of course, released in theaters this week for the 10th episode in a row. Got a new look at Harrison Ford as Red Hulk. Thunderbolts, we got a new trailer released during the Super Bowl featuring our first peek at Sentry and new look at the Thunderbolts team, including our first look at, was it Dark Sentry? The Void.
Yeah, the Void.
The Void, his like other personality. We got a new poster and new look at Ghost, Bob, Yelena, and John Walker. I'm excited for this.
Yeah, it
looks really good.
Love the music choice for the trailer. I love that song. You know what, that song was made for a romantic comedy about a mannequin that comes to life?
No, it's just he uses Thunderbolts.
I
love how they're promoting this as, and they've done it from the beginning, where it's like a team of nobody from directors that nobody knows.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is good. This is good.
I saw someone say, you notice Taskmaster is in it so
little.
little.
She's gonna be gone after the first battle.
She's going to be the, what was his name in the first Suicide Squad?
It's not Slipknot.
Yeah, I think it was.
Is it Slipknot?
I think it was Slipknot. It's gonna be the Slipknot, or the first team of Suicide Squad and the Suicide Squad.
Yeah,
where it's like
she's gonna last one battle and then she's gonna die.
Yeah, which stinks because Taskmaster is a really cool character, but also that version of Taskmaster was kind of.
It's not my Taskmaster.
So maybe we'll get a proper Taskmaster.
Exactly. Quick, because she's not in any posters, is she?
I don't think so. I think she's just in trailers.
Bucky, Red Guardian, Yelena, John Walker,
Taskmaster. Those are the 6 that were going to be the Thunder.
And then Bob is in the posters.
Oh yeah, Bob. Forgot about Bob.
Sentry. Bob is Sentry.
Well, yeah, Bob is Sentry, but
forgot
about Bob.
I forgot about Bob.
What about
Don't
Bob?
forget about Bob. Don't forget about Bob. Anyway, Daredevil Born Again for the 3rd episode in a row. Got a new look at Daredevil's new suit, new look at Charlie Cox's Matt Murdock, new look at Matt, Foggy, and Karen, and new look at Vincent D'Onofrio and Michael Gandolfini. This morning, we got a new about 30-second to a minute teaser for which featured our first peek at the Punisher logo, and was also revealed that Season 2 has begun filming, with Justin Benson and Aaron Moorhead of Loki Season 2 returning to direct. Avengers Doomsday for the 3rd episode in a row. Filming is set to begin in March in England. And Avengers Secret Wars filming is set to begin in summer of 2026. X-Men 97, of course, as previously mentioned, won at the Critics' Choice Awards. Coleman Domingo says he talked to Marvel about the rumors of him replacing Jonathan Majors as Kang in the MCU, saying, quote, "I want a role to be mine, and whatever that role is, or whatever I develop, something didn't feel right of me being like, oh, I replaced someone," which is fair. And then the plans to introduce the X-Men in the MCU are still, quote, "very fluid." So, they said, "We want to start sprinkling in these things so that it doesn't feel like you're going to drink from a fire hose when that movie comes out," which, honestly, fair. In terms of celebrity deaths, we only got 2 this week. Peter Navy Tuiasosopo, who was 61, from New Girl and Magnum PI actor. And then Jerry Eisenberg was 87, Hanna-Barbera animator and storyboarder, bearing the original Scooby-Doo Where Are You, among many others.
I believe Peter Potamus was one of his creations.
There's like a gummy bear, I think.
The Hair Bear Bunch.
Hair Bear Bunch, yeah, that's what I was thinking of. My sources this week are Movie Insider, Deadline, Rotten Tomatoes, New York Times, Collider, Screen Rant, Hollywood Reporter, France TV, Phase Hero, Empire, IGN, The Wrap, LED Bible, Entertainment Weekly, Vanity Fair, Esquire, GQ, The Direct, comicbook.com, The Insider, Great Magazines, E.T. Puck, and of course, Discussing Film.
I want to thank my sources: Discussing Film, Crunchyroll, IGN, PlayStation Blog, Nintendo Life, and the official sites and socials of the studios mentioned today.
And now for our tier list, which is going to take a little bit of a change.
It's more of a bracket.
More of a bracket.
Than it is a tier list. We have a bunch of fictional couples.
Mm-hmm. Sitcom couples.
Sitcom couples. And they're going to they're going to be pitted against each other in game nights. We're going to see who will win the game night based on competitiveness, how petty overall they can be.
Exactly.
Just different things.
We do have 24 seats. So we have some preliminary games to play. I'm getting into sports mode.
We'll try to breeze through this.
Yeah.
Let me move this stuff so I can actually see the screen a little better. There we go. I can actually read those names now.
All right. In the 17th and 16th or 17th seed, we have Marie and Frank from Everybody Loves Raymond, and the 16th seed, Marshall and Lily from How I Met Your Mother. Honestly, I haven't seen How I Met Your Mother, but I know about it. But I think Marie would destroy
Oh, she
them.
would passively aggressively say so many things,
And then to kill them from the inside.
yeah, they would just get so defeated.
Yeah.
And obviously Lily would get spiteful and try to one up, but it would.
And Frank is just there.
Yeah.
Frank's like, okay.
At the end of the day,
He's there for the snacks.
At the end of the day, Marie gets her way, or it's going to be a tough time.
Exactly. A what?
A tough time.
Absolutely. I think that we agree.
Yeah.
That they win. And then the 9th seed, Jim and Pam from The Office versus the 24th seed, Leonard and Penny from The Big Bang Theory. These were randomized, I should say.
Yeah. This is a tough
honestly,
one.
If we're playing a game night, I want to think Leonard.
Oh, probably.
Leonard
But
would carry it.
the thing is, Penny just doesn't care
Yeah, exactly.
at all. Like it's we're playing games.
Yeah.
Like,
But Leonard's like,
because
he
I love
knows how
Big
to
Bang
win.
Theory, but if there's one annoying thing, it's that Penny never learns to appreciate any of the nerdy stuff.
Yeah. But also Jim's like competitiveness with the pranks.
Yeah.
I think
Which is
there's
why
not
I'm
much-
saying it might be Jim and Pam, only because Penny might drag Leonard down just a little bit of not taking it too seriously.
Yeah, and we won't be able to focus. Whereas, and Pam can get along for some stuff that Jim puts through.
Yeah.
So we saying Jim and Pam?
Yes.
Jim
Now,
and
if it was Jim and Pam versus Sheldon and Amy, it might be a different story.
Yeah. Next up, 21st seed Chris and Ann from Parks and Rec versus the 12th seed Schmidt and Cece from New Girl.
This is all you, because I barely watched either. So
Okay. Ann can be, I don't want to say ditzy sometimes. Schmidt would get so competitive, and Cece would just kind of like try to rile him in, but he'd be like, no. And Chris just wants to be perfect, but he also knows a lot of trivia. My gut says Schmidt, though.
all right.
Schmidt would like commit. Next up, the 13th seed, Monica and Chandler from Friends versus Janine and Gregory from Abbott Elementary.
Is there any question?
It's Monica and Chandler.
It's Monica and Chandler.
Monica alone.
Monica's gonna get so mean, and Chandler's just gonna like be so apologetic the whole
Yeah.
time.
There's no contest here.
Yeah, there's no contest. I mean,
The 19th seed, Andy and April from Parks and Rec versus the 14th seed, Phil and Claire from Modern Family. This is sad because it's Phil and Claire. It's Claire.
yeah,
Claire. Phil and Andy, I feel like, are the same person, only one slightly stupider, and I never know which one it is. You never know. It could change at any moment. You think Phil and Claire for this one?
oh, absolutely.
Yeah, because April's not going to care.
No,
Andy's
it's another
gonna try
penny.
and
It's
then
a
get it
penny.
wrong.
It's another penny situation of like she's not
Exactly.
gonna care enough to win.
She's not going to care.
She's gonna be like,
on
I
purpose?
can't believe my boyfriend dragged me out to play games for a date night. Like,
and Andy's actually going to try, but get everything wrong.
oh yeah,
He's going to get everything
especially if they're playing like Trivial Pursuit or something.
wrong. Exactly. Next up, the 11th seed, Bernadette and Howard from The Big Bang Theory versus the 22nd seed, Jake and Amy from Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Okay, this is an interesting one because Bernadette's kind of like that. Like, you get her riled up, it's going to get scary. But then
Yeah.
you have Jake and Amy,
Where Amy is going to be like, focus up. And Jake's like,
and Jake's like, I've already planned ahead for this. And
this is,
I almost want to say it's Jake and Amy.
I do too. Because I haven't seen The Big Bang Theory. So
I'm going to say we'll say
Jake
Jake and Amy. Yeah.
which is an upset. 22nd seed. As if it wasn't randomized. The 23rd seed, Nick and Jess from New Girl versus the 10th seed, Jay and Gloria from Modern Family.
Once again, this would be you because I don't have comparisons for New Girl to.
Have you seen Modern Family?
Yes, I've seen some Modern Family.
Oh,
I've
but
seen
it's
some
New
New
Girl.
Girl. I've just
Yeah.
not seen enough
Enough
of
to be
either
like-
to have a true.
Yeah. Jess, but Gloria is... No, it's Jay and Gloria. I don't think there's any competition. It's Jay because Gloria is going to pull out her Colombian side. I can say that because there's jokes about that in the show. And Jay's just going to be like, yeah, we're going to beat him to a pulp. Jay and Gloria from Modern Family. And then Peter and Lois from Family Guy as the 15th seed versus the 18th seed, Doug and Carrie from The King of Queens.
So this is ending with a fist fight between Lois and Carrie, right?
Absolutely. Are they not the same couple? But
This is the
like
same.
animated?
It's the same couple, but Peter and Lois are worse people. Doug and Carrie have morals,
Yeah.
which might mean that they lose.
But Carrie's also like, don't
But
take...
Carrie's also one that just take the gloves off and like,
Yeah, immediately.
like Peter and Lois are going to start winning. Lois is going to get real cocky, and then Carrie's going to be like, Dougie, can I talk to you in the kitchen real quick?
We need to take them down. What do you think?
And then Doug's like, I don't know. Peter's a nice guy. I finally have another guy to like eat
exactly,
with.
Exactly.
I have another friend to eat with.
They're just going to be. You're right. It is going to be Lois versus Carrie. Essentially, take these two away. You've seen both of these. I've only seen one, so I'm going to leave this up to you because I feel like you know better. I've only seen the King of Queens.
This is a really tough one because it's almost equal in a way.
Exactly.
Arthur just being like, the baby talks, right?
If this were a crossover, it'd definitely be Arthur and Stewie and bro.
He's made to watch. He's babysitting Stewie or something.
Exactly. Stewie's babysitting him in the end. He's originally babysitting Stewie, but then Stewie ends up babysitting
Let's
him.
be honest. If it was Family Guy, someone would die.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Anyway, let's say, how do you think it might end up being Doug and Carrie? We'll just say Doug and Carrie.
Because of Carrie.
Because of Carrie. Because I think what would happen is like, Lois would end up feeling bad and being like, okay, you win, and like letting her win. And then Carrie being like, you're so not, in your face.
Exactly.
Like she would, like that would be the one, because Lois does end up having moral at the very end.
Yeah.
And the whole joke of King of Queens is Carrie upholds her morals until the very end, where she's like,
yeah,
actually, no, I get what I want now.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, Doug and Carrie.
Doug and Carrie, 18th seed. All right. The number 1 seed, Ross and Rachel from Friends.
Versus Marie and Frank.
Marie and Frank from Everybody Loves Raymond. Once again, I feel like with the way Ross and Rachel are, Marie could dismantle them.
This is more of a Marie versus Ross situation. Of both kind of being...
be an underdog.
Of Ross being like, okay.
Yeah.
Kind of like the mopey.
Yeah.
He would get mad so fast because Marie would just say factually wrong things just to get a rise out of them.
Mm-hmm. And what would Rachel do?
Rachel would also get I feel like Rachel would get frustrated, like very much, because the trivia night they had with like Monica,
the who gets the apartment.
But she's nowhere near as competitive as Monica, of course, because Monica is the competitive one.
Mm-hmm.
Feel like this is a close one because they're both kind of like the couples that almost cause problems for everyone else.
Exactly. And Marie is just so devastating. She gets the close blows in.
Although I feel like Rachel would end up telling her off.
Absolutely, she would. But would that...
Because Rachel can only take so much crap before she tells people off.
Yeah, but would Marie like just take and be like, I'll give you more? Like, would it affect her?
I feel like she would end up getting Marie might end up getting kicked out if Ross and Rachel are the ones hosting.
True.
So I will say Ross and Rachel would put up a bigger fight against Marie alone, and Frank would just kind of be there.
Once again, Frank is there for the snacks. They're only for the snacks, and that's it.
So let's say Ross and Rachel.
Ross and Rachel?
Just because if we keep going with Marie's just going to be devastating.
They'll
end up winning.
She'll win.
So, yeah, I feel like Rachel would end up telling her off, and she'd just be like,
Exactly.
let's go home. I could see when we're not wanted and try to guilt trip him, and Rachel's like, that's not going to work on me. I'm with Ross.
Exactly.
Guilt tripping does not work.
Oh, Marie versus Ross. And
Jim and Pam versus Bob and Linda.
This is the 8th and 9th seed. Bob and Linda is the 8th seed.
I feel like it's still Jim and Pam.
It's still Jim and Pam. I don't think...
Because Bob and
Linda would get too into it, but then overcompensate. Bob just doesn't care. He's like, why are we doing this?
Bob would end up caring because it was seeing how much that it would devastate Linda. But if you watch enough Bob's Burgers, the Pelchers don't win.
They don't. Just by sitcom logic. It's Jim and Pam.
Yeah, it's Jim and Pam.
Jim and Pam, the 9th seed versus the 8th seed. Next up is the 5th seed, Sheldon and Amy from The Big Bang Theory versus the 12th seed, Schmidt and Cece. I think they're just Sheldon and Amy.
It also depends on what game it is, but probably Sheldon and Amy.
Sheldon and Amy. Yeah. Because Schmidt can only go so far. The 13th seed, Monica and Chandler versus the 4th seed, Cameron and Mitchell from Modern Family.
It's Monica and Chandler. Yeah.
Monica. They'll put up a fight, I feel like, but it's Monica and Chandler. Leslie and Ben from Parks and Rec versus Phil and Claire from Modern Family. The 3rd seed is Leslie and Ben.
Leslie and Ben prepare for everything, don't they?
Leslie does. And Ben is such a nerd.
So,
I feel like it's going to be Leslie.
It would be Leslie and Ben.
The 22nd seed, Jake and Amy, versus the 6th seed, Ray and Deborah from Everybody Loves Raymond.
Jake and Amy, Ray and Deborah would get in a big fight before the whole game's over.
Before it starts.
Yeah.
It's Jake and Amy. Let's be honest.
They'd be getting ready to go to Jake and Amy's house.
Exactly.
Get into an argument over something stupid. Amy would be too mean to Ray.
Because she gets competitive. Oh.
Yeah.
Jake and Amy. An upset coming through. All right. Number 1 seed, Ross and Rachel, versus the number 9 seed, Jim and Pam. Oh, this is hard.
This is a very hard one. We got the 2 underdogs finally getting with the girl.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. My gut is torn.
Yeah. I don't know. This feels like an equal matchup. Although, if Jim is doing any pranking, then it might end up being in their favor.
Is there plan time? There has to be plan time.
Yeah, they have to know that it's happening ahead of time.
Yeah.
Say Jim and Pam.
Jim and Pam?
Just because that's just a random choice. That was like me going like
throw
whatever.
a dart at something.
Yeah. Oh, we didn't do these 2.
I was gonna say I remember putting that.
We missed some matchups. Jesse and Becky from Full House versus Jay and Gloria
from Modern Family. Jesse and Becky's the 7th seed. I haven't seen Full House. This is on you.
It's probably Jay and Gloria.
Jay and Gloria.
Just because Jesse and Becky they're from Full House. I can't even think of them being like anywhere near as like petty and competitive as
the rest of these couples are. Except maybe Jim. No, yeah, Jim and Pam was petty.
Because they'd have they would end up losing, and then DJ would be, or like Michelle, whoever would be like, oh, why did you let them win? And it's like the violin would kick in. It's like sometimes it's just about
taking the high road.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jay and Gloria winning that. And then Doug and Carrie from the
versus Homer and Marge. Okay, this is a little. This is a little less of a. I feel like Doug and Carrie would win again.
But once again, Doug and Homer are the same person.
Doug and Homer, would get along, and then Marge would be. It would be less of Lois and Carrie are too similar. This would be more of Marge being like, "This Carrie girl's awful competitive."
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
That was more Yoda than Marge. I apologize.
I mean, they're in the same vein, kind of.
But, just Doug and Carrie. Yeah. Going based off Bob's Burgers logic of like, Homer and Marge don't win.
They don't. They never do.
Sheldon Amy versus Monica and Chandler. Holy moly, Monica versus Sheldon.
What have we done? This is the cursed bracket.
Both their faces are twitching by the end of this.
Absolutely. Let's be honest. This should be the final. This should be the final.
This should have been darn seed randomizing. Oh man,
I have no clue.
I almost feel like
because it does come down to Sheldon versus Monica.
Yeah. How mean does Monica get against Sheldon?
I mean, you think how mean Monica gets in general. If she gets competitive, she can get some mean sometimes. Does Sheldon?
Both are also equally OCD.
Yeah. Absolutely.
About like that's my spot. Don't spill stuff on that.
Yeah. My gut says Monica.
Your gut says Monica and Chandler?
I feel like she is so... Of course, once again, I've only seen the first 2 episodes of Big Bang Theory.
Sheldon would
is
get
Sheldon as competitive?
He gets pretty competitive. He's also gets pretty like, oh, I'm smarter than everyone else in the room, and ends up losing because of that. Yeah. Like he outsmarts to the point that he turns around and like doesn't let the so maybe.
Whereas Monica is just like.
Yeah, maybe Monica and Chandler.
Monica and Chandler.
Because Monica would get so mad at how cocky Sheldon gets with how smart he is and stuff, and
and then just add fuel to the fire.
Yeah.
Monica and wow. Number 3 seed Leslie and Ben versus the 22nd seed Jake and Amy. First of all, I feel like Amy and Leslie would be like best friends.
Oh, probably. They would compare like lamination and
absolutely
planners,
binders, literally binders.
Is this another one where we just kind of choose just because of like just throw a dart at the board, kind of?
Yeah, my gut says Leslie and Ben because Jake can be kind of like, I don't want to say stupid.
Doesn't take it seriously. Too much.
Whereas Ben, you get him on like a nerd thing, he's going to take it seriously. And then Leslie is just so trivia heavy. Leslie and Amy are on the same playing field, but Ben is on a higher playing field than Jake.
All right.
If that makes sense.
Jake would have I guess we've been assuming they're playing trivia this whole time. Although some of them I've been like, Monopoly or something like the.
Yeah.
But yeah, if we're going with trivia specifically, Jake's going to know pop culture and maybe some like history stuff. Mm-hmm. But like.
And Ben's going to know some pop culture, but you get a government question.
Yeah.
Leslie's beating all 3 of them.
So
Leslie and Ben.
Leslie and Ben.
Number 3 seed. The 10th seed, Jay and Gloria, versus the 18th seed, Doug and Carrie. Oh, my goodness.
I feel like you can choose this matchup better than me because Doug and Carrie I know very well. Jay and Gloria I know just enough. But
I mean, it's still... Carrie keeps getting up matches. Carrie and Gloria are going to be gloves off on both of them. Gloria's going to take a stiletto to Carrie's neck. And Doug is just once again there for the snacks. Doug and Jay's going to be like, hey, you want to go grab a beer and watch the game? And Doug's like, yeah.
Yeah, they're going to be in the middle of the game. They're like Gloria and Carrie start fighting and be like, do we need to make a wheel?
Jay and Gloria.
Should I
think.
Should I make a wheel?
Yeah, make a random.
I will make a wheel. Hold on.
Because once again, I feel like this could go both ways.
Luckily, I have a wheel maker on my phone.
Yes.
Already downloaded.
We might need it for the rest of these.
The wheel decided on Jay and Gloria. I'm almost upset because Doug and Carrie versus Monica and Chandler would have been so funny.
It would have been. It would have been.
But yeah, the wheel is spoken.
Jay and Gloria from Modern Family moves on. All right, we have our final four. Jim and Pam from The Office, the 9th seed versus the 13th seed, Monica and Chandler.
Monica and Chandler,
absolutely.
I feel like we have a bias, but it's fine.
Leslie and Ben versus Jay and Gloria. It's Leslie and Ben.
Yeah.
They're gonna just by knowledge wise. Gloria, I feel like is more competitive than both of them, but Leslie and now the final.
Monica and Chandler versus Leslie and Ben.
The 13th seed versus the 3rd seed. We do have Monica's very competitiveness. Leslie's also competitive, but not nearly as competitive as Monica is. But will that be her downfall versus them, who both are very knowledgeable and stuff? Wheel.
We're going with the wheel.
The wheel's gonna depict if it's an underdog story or like one of the top seeds.
I'm not even putting the husbands' names anymore. I'm just putting.
It's at this point, it is Monica versus Leslie.
And spin the wheel.
Barely.
Monica and Chandler.
Monica is an upset. The 13th seed. Monica and Chandler are the game night sitcom couple champions of this episode. All right.
I was really holding out for Doug and Carrie.
The 22nd seed. They went so far.
On that note, we will see you all next time. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, do all those interactive things. Follow the podcast on most social medias at Mondays for Nerds. Follow me on most social medias at Sir Stumpslot or Sir Stumpslot17.
Follow me on Twitter at PolarPanda001. Instagram, Chris M. Pratt fan, I believe. That's what my name is.
We will see you all next time.
Goodbye.
Bye.